Hi guys, welcome to ThrustZone.com. This is Mohit Soni, and as promised at the launch, we finally are riding the Pulsar 250 twins. This is the F, this is the N, and these are the new twins that have come from Bajaj exactly 20 years later after the original Pulsar came out. Of course, 10 years ago, we did see the Pulsar with the KTM engineering to a certain extent that came out in 2012 with the Pulsar NS 200 and subsequently the RS followed. These are entirely engineered by Bajaj. These are set to replace the original Pulsars that came along and which are currently on sale. And this is going to be a huge leap of faith for Bajaj. This is going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered, and most importantly, how it feels to ride. Because we told you a lot about the details in our previous launch video, but these are the bikes in real life, in real daylight. That's what we've been waiting for. They're finally here, and as you can see, this is the new fairing for the Pulsar 250F. And as you can see, this, of course, you guys have been saying this is inspired by the NS, but look at how this follows down here and how the headlight looks with the LED DRLs and everything. I think in real they look much better. Those studio lights previously did not do the justice that we do the bikes. And of course, this is the 250N, not the NS, the N. And of course, it's got a very design inspired by the Yamaha MT-15. We've got a very short mudguard here. We've got the LED projector lamps with LED DRLs. We'll have to do a road test on the illumination, but for now we can see, I think this is the side profile here looks really impressive. And this is the exhaust here. As you can just see the overall bike in daylight. I leave it to you. I've shown it to you earlier. We think that this bike does look good previously in the studio lights and in real life. This is for you because you will be seeing it every day in the real life scenario. I think it looks fantastic. We'll go at the back to see what is how the back looks like. This is the rear angle of the bike, and let me just start it for you to show you the brake tail lamps. This is the new number plate holder, very international, almost looks like a super bike. It feels very sturdy as well. And we've got the side guard with the mud guard, and you can see the dual port exhaust here again. The alloy wheels, they are kind of inspired from the NS, but they are grey in color and they look great. This grey color here, this red color with the N, I think they look fantastic. It's got very minimal graphics on it to make in fact the N here doesn't have much of graphics. And yeah, we'll show you the instrument cluster. You can see it again, the fuel cap which is taken inspiration from the NS. The switch gear remains the same apart from this new sort of design, that element that is on the switch gear. And these are the seats. This is the grab rail. The pillion seat is extremely comfortable. This is how the grab rails are. They are very accommodating. And about the rider seat, the rider triangle, we'll let you know more about it when we start riding it. And yeah, very high on quality, very good motorcycles, really well finished, good paint quality as always. With every single time that we told you that the paint quality of Bajaj motorcycles does stand out. There's no exception here with this new motorcycle. It's fit finish, quality, everything else, everything that will associate with quality is done really well here. And there's still a few things missing, such as adjustable levers, but I guess this bike is all about pure pure performance, no connectivity features, no extraordinary lights, no much of information. It is all about the thrill of riding and pure motorcycling, as like Bajaj likes to call it, and keeping it simple is what Bajaj likes to call it. And yeah, these are the bikes in flesh. I give it to you. How do you think they look like? We think they look great. They are a great evolution. They are a step above by many miles, like how the original Pulsar was and how the upgrades followed usually subsequently ahead. And this is the right evolution for that, in the way they look and in the way they ride. And now let's discuss how. So we have finally ridden the Pulsar 250F and 250N twin on the Chakan track as well as on the road. And what do we think of these motorcycles? Well, to begin with, let's start with the engine. This is the new engine, completely made, entirely new. The 250cc motor is oil cooled. It's got dual spark plugs, not triple. It's got a slipper assist clutch, and it's engine which is very smooth, very refined. It's got a lot of torque. It's got more torque than the NS 200 and the RS 200, and that says a lot. This is one of those street motorcycles which is based on torque, so the horsepower and torque delivery is so smooth, so linear, that you don't realize until unless you open the throttle, and when you see the speeds build up so quickly without much of drama. And I think that's fantastic, because Bajaj has made sure that this motorcycle is very easy to live with, and at the same time the exhaust note is fantastic. Of course the intake note also is quite high in typical Bajaj fashion, so it retains the Pulsar characteristic to a very large extent, and that's what makes it a Pulsar. That intake noise, the new exhaust note, the power delivery from the low end and the mid range. It's even got good top end as well. It does 100, 110, 120 very easily, so sustaining something between 100 and 120 is going to be much more easier, and just like any other competitive bike, not like the previous the Pulsar 220, where sustaining those speeds for a longer period of time was possible, but it was a bit of a pain doing so. And that's where the touring community kicks in. They will really appreciate the engine. You do not need a 6th gear to make sure that you have stress-free riding. Trust me, we have done 100, 110 and 120 on the highway for a brief amount of time, and we did not feel the need for a 6th gear, because the gears ratios are really well spaced out. You don't need that gear ratio. Sometimes numbers higher than the lower ones do not make sense. Bajaj has proved that with the 5-speed, the gear ratios are spaced really well, so there is no issue with the 6th gear missing. Trust me, the power, torque delivery, the flat torque curve and the 5-speed gearbox is making sure that you are getting the torque and the power when you need it. And the 6-speed is not really necessary, because the fuel efficiency is quite spot on. Bajaj says that the RI has told them that their motorcycle is delivering 39 kilometers to the liter, and when Bajaj says that, they also say that this number, you can come very close to this number, because the DTSI technology, the new BS6 engine is tuned entirely new. It's not a lean ratio mix that how it was earlier, so the tuning is spot on, and that's what makes it very good. And the 6th gear is not required. Trust me guys, the 6th gear is not really required, because the 5th gear is really well done, and the overall gearing is also spot on. Let's talk about the ride and handling part. Well, it is based on an entirely new platform. The chassis is a tubular frame which starts off as a diamond, but then also gets 2 tubes separately to mount the engine, and what that does is gives it unparalleled stiffness, very good ride quality. The suspension travel, everything has been sorted in the way where it gives you the confidence to ride hard and fast. You can corner really hard. The lean angles are very good. You can lean this motorcycle so well, you'll be thinking that maybe there's a perimeter frame down there, because the lean angles are spot on. And that's what, that's how good the motorcycle is. The suspension travel at the front and at the back is just enough, and the ride quality is spot on. It doesn't feel harsh, it doesn't feel overly soft. Of course, on the track when we were pushing it hard, we found it to be a slightly soft, but on the road you're not going to realize that at all. Even if you end up going on the track, well, you're going to always up the preload to a max and enjoy the stiffness. And what also aids in handling are these new low profile tires with the alloy wheel matched to it. It's not a sidewall that is popping out quite a lot, which was the case with the earlier 220. So the low profile tires and the redone alloy wheels make sure that you get fantastic handling, like we said, and one of the many reasons why it is going to handle really well, and it does, is because of that. And the brakes, single channel ABS, big 300mm rotor at the front is a very big welcome move from Bajaj. The front brakes are good, so is the rear bite, and the front bite is also spot on. It's not overly sharp, but it's got a lot of braking power. You can come to a halt from 100, 120 in absolutely no time. So that's the thing we look forward to, and Bajaj has nailed that aspect quite well. Apart from that, the ergonomics, since you guys know I am a big guy, you can see it while I'm riding. There's a lot of space to move around. The seats are also very comfortable. I told you the pillion seat is segment best. The rider seat also will accommodate riders of all type, and that is going to make the Pulsar N or F very versatile and ready for almost everybody in the market immediately as it comes in the market. And the ground clearance, well, it's good enough. I told you about the brakes. The tires are also good. The alloy wheels make it low profile, so the handling is spot on. At the same time, the suspension is done really well, so the ride quality is good. Bajaj has got the ride and handling right. Bajaj has got the engine right. Bajaj has got the ergonomics right. And the low NVH nature of these new engines, the better ride quality, the new agility makes it very easy to live with on a daily basis now. The 50-50 weight distribution has worked like a charm, and it is making sure that you have a very easy time with the motorcycle. It's not going to be a huge pain or a hustle to move around with the new Pulsars, that's for sure. With the new Pulsars coming in lower capacity, cubic capacity, Bajaj will just find more and more new customers and old customers replacing their new old bikes with this, because it's the same character, it's the same Pulsar character and DNA it has. At the same time, it's a much easier bike to live with. Like I told you, we've ridden on the Chapter test track, we've ridden it on the street. And how do we sum it up? Well, we think these are fantastic motorcycles launched at great price. These have the characteristic of a Pulsar, but there's also a newfound agility with the chassis. There's a newfound refinement and power and torque with the new engine. Everything is new, and yet it has the Pulsar DNA to a very large extent, and that's what makes it the perfect comeback for Bajaj. It has come back with a bang. The pricing is spot on, and we think you're getting really good value for money. We know for a fact that the connectivity features and other tidbits are missing like rivals, but then again, the way it rides, the way it behaves, the characteristic, everything is so good that we will be so immersed into that you will not really find much of time to play with the goodies like you do usually with other motorcycles. The emotive experience that you get with the Pulsar is very, very high, and at the same time there is so much ease of use, there is so much refinement, and the way you don't need to put much more muscle into riding a Pulsar, that's what makes it a very, very special motorcycle to me. And you will also find that over time after riding that it is truly an emotive motorcycling icon that we always love. And with the new twins, the L250 and subsequently the lower cubic capacity Pulsar that will follow, this is again going to set a benchmark for the next coming decade or maybe 2 more decades. I think that is it. Thank you so much for watching our video, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe to our channel, comment if you still have some questions below, and I will see you next time in the next video. Goodbye.